Preparing stream. Setting it up. And we are live, kids. I am so excited to bring you Daytime Today. And hello, everyone. Welcome to Daytime Today, coming to you live from 3 locations: Los Angeles, California, another part of Southern California, and Baltimore, Maryland. Our hosts bring you the latest in daytime news that's happening in the digital drama space, daytime space, and other kind of spaces. They're going to talk to you about all kinds of goodness, soapy and otherwise. Bringing to you now our 2 faves. They help bring the show together for you this Columbus Day weekend and this prideful coming out day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and every gender, Tami, Gouveia, and Candace, Mack.
Hey, everybody. Hello.
Hi. Welcome, everybody. How is this Sunday for you, Miss Candace?
It is peachy keen, even though it's raining right now in Baltimore. But,
Oh, send the rain. We need the rain so bad.
I'll give you the coldness, too. I'll give you the wetness. I'll give you everything, okay? I'll just give it to you. I'll give you fall.
Oh, my gosh. That sounds so good.
How are you?
Good. The weather's actually cooling off a little bit here, although we're expecting one more burst of warm weather, which I'm keeping my fingers crossed is going to be the last of the warm weather. I'm, from the Bay Area, so I'm used to those temperate, cooler days and even chillier nights. So I love the fall. It's my favorite time of year.
We can switch. We can switch. It's weird. It's weird here in Baltimore because the fall is sort of, and I use this all the time. It's like PMSing because sometimes it's nice and cool, like between 52 and 63 degrees on one day.
Okay.
The next day it's up to the 80s. The next is down to the 60s. Then there's the 90s.
Oh my God.
We're in the this is around the time where it's going to be between 75 degrees and 85 degrees on a normal. But sometimes in November, it's a 90 day.
Oh my God. Sounds like a roller coaster.
I told you.
Okay, what did you think about the week? The daytime news this past week?
You notice how my face just went down like I'm ashamed. There was some interesting news out there, pertaining to, the talk shows as well as the soaps. And we're going to get into that a little bit later. Overall, I thought this was a very, like I said, interesting week. Very interesting. How did you feel about it?
I thought it was a little on the quiet side. But the 2 biggest news points, I guess you could say, weren't in the soap opera world. It was actually in the daytime talk show world, which we'll be getting into later on. So why don't we go ahead and start breaking down the week in daytime?
Yes.
We're going to start off with Mr. Joe Flanagan. So I am still missing Dr. Neil Byrne so much on General Hospital. I don't know about you. Were you a Neil Byrne fan?
I was interested in Neil. I thought he was an interesting character. I was hoping for a wedding. Excuse me, I'm going to have a moment now. Okay. I had my moment.
You had your moment.
I had my moment.
So Joe Flanagan, not sure if he's in Toronto for work. I'm assuming he is, but apparently while he's in Toronto at the hotel he's staying in, he is being quarantined.
Oh.
And so he is actually videotaping and sharing this experience with fans while he's being quarantined. So I'm going to go ahead and try to, and it looks like I can't do that.
Oh, no.
This is great. Host
This is
has disabled attendee screen sharing.
Oh
So I
no.
can only screen share with you.
Oh no. Okay. Let me see.
Interesting.
Let's see if I can pull this up.
Let's see if I can do this
My
as well.
end. Welcome to live.
I know, this is live. This is probably on my end. I think I
Okay.
need to enable it.
see.
Let me just try one more thing. Okay. Video settings. Let me just try this one thing before we continue.
In the meantime, I'm gonna just do some elevator music. Dun, dun,
Okay.
dun,
I'm not going to worry about this. So let's just continue with Joe. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to share the photo because it's a really amazing photo of him being quarantined in Toronto, and he's actually, creating a series. You can actually join him every day at 2 p.m. This is Eastern Standard Time as he documents his 14 days in quarantine in his hotel room. As he describes it, it's a riveting portrait of a man's descent into madness. Little dramatic, but
Okay.
being quarantined in a hotel, I'm sure isn't all bad. There is room service.
That bad.
But
It's not that
one thing he did bring up is, and I don't know if fans are aware of Cameo, but Cameo is a site that you can go to that gives fans an opportunity to get personalized messages from your favorite celebrities.
Yeah.
And so you can pay to have one of your faves, particularly in daytime television, give you a personal message. And so what Joe is saying is go to Cameo. I will create a personal message for you, and all the proceeds from this will go toward Rock the Vote, which is an amazing organization that really helps people to get educated on the importance of voting and where you can go to vote and all the news in the voting world. So again, twofold pieces of news. If you want to join his vlog every day at 2:00 p.m., he will share with you for a few minutes his quarantined experience in Toronto. And I believe he's at day 10 right now. So he's got 4 more days. And then also you can go to Cameo, you can get a personalized message from him. And again, all proceeds from that will go toward Rock the Vote.
awesome. That sounds like another show about a man who was self-discovering himself that comes on IG Live almost every night. I think he's at 106, 107. Talk a lot with James Lott Jr. I think that's the show. I don't.
I didn't realize I was discovering myself. I didn't realize that was happening.
That how to survive without going into the crazy world.
Oh, that part,
yeah. You know what? And not only that, you created a whole network. So I'm just saying you discovered that too.
I did. And little newsflash, everybody. Mistletoe Road episode 1 is done and in the can and uploaded. So it'll be on November 30th on JLJ Media. It's amazing. And Tammy Gouveia is in episode 3. So we're filming that on Tuesday. Thanks.
Can't wait.
Okay, and that was your church announcement. Sponsored by. So speaking of church announcements, I think we need to go to church and pray for Max Earthridge and Demi Lovato. Okay, last week we told you guys that they broke up. Tears, tears, tears. Now, allegedly, Demi Lovato fans, you guys are harassing Max big time. So,
the haystack.
Yeah, so this is like an ongoing soap opera. Well, it's kind of, he was on Young and the Restless. She was on Barney and Friends. Remember Barney and Friends?
I do. I hated that show.
Wow.
Just being real.
I was not a Barney fan either. Barney.
I hated Barney so much. He's so annoying.
Anyway, the actor who claims now, allegedly, he found out that they were broken up online. He found out on Twitter, Instagram. He spoke to TMZ reporters, and he's accusing Demi Lovato's fan base of bullying him, saying, "You're no good for her.
Oh my
Why
gosh.
did you do this to her?" Not only that, but it's also saying something that I said last week, that Demi Lovato is using this breakup as a publicity stunt because Demi has some new music coming out soon. Max is also filming a movie, I believe down in Atlanta. I'm not too sure, but he's been talking about it. According to sources, Demi is having the time of her life right now. She is with her friends, with her family. She's been posting on Instagram, no ring at all. She's acting like she's never been engaged a day in her life. While Max is again on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, talking about this breakup. So
You called it.
It's sad because, and I'm pretty sure that they, did have a really good relationship. However, in Hollywood, or in our business, as we call it, there's certain things that you do, sadly, to put your name in the mainstream. And not a lot of people knew who Max was, unless you were a daytime fan.
Exactly.
Everybody knows Demi. So it's like, okay, all the fans are like, well, who is this guy? Who is this guy? And to make a name for yourself, I'm not saying it's like that. But in some cases, with some couples,
it's like that.
It's like that. But my thing is that, if Demi is moving on, Max, little word of wisdom. Take it from Aunt Candace here. Stop posting on it on social media.
Well, if it's not on social media, Candace, then it hasn't really happened. So.
Well, that's why she's pretending that she wasn't engaged. I'm just saying. I mean, literally, she's taking pictures, and everybody noticed the ring was off. Of course, if you broke up with somebody, of course the engagement ring is off. Allegedly, somebody says she took it and she sold it.
Wow! Oh my God, the drama! So much drama.
So we don't even need a soap right now. Tune in for As the Heartbreak Continues.
Right? Max can start his own soap opera.
You know what? That's a good title. Wait a minute. Let me write that down. I wonder if a network would pick that up.
Well, this is good. Speaking of moving on, when Courtney Hope got released from The Bold and the Beautiful, we were like, oh my God, this is devastating. Yeah. What is Bold and Beautiful thinking? That, she's so amazing. We love Sally Spectra. What happened? We were upset just with the whole Spectra family, just the dismantling of that amazing family. And then to have Sally leave, it was heartbreaking. But we're such huge fans of Courtney Hope, and we've been in her corner. It's like, girl, wherever you end up, we will be supporting you and we will be following you. So when she shows up on Y&R, what was it? The Crimson Lights, right? Yeah. It was such an amazing photo. Well, lo and behold, she posted on Instagram her dressing room, a picture of her dressing room with her character's name on Young and the Restless. And it looks like Sally Spectra will be joining the Young and the Restless.
Yes. And yes.
Oh my God, this is such insane news. Like, to say that we're happy, Courtney, is like, there are no words to describe that. Sally will be continued.
I'm just happy. First and foremost, yes, I'm glad that, Sally's coming to the GC. Oh my God, there's so many storylines. But I'm loving the fact that Young and the Restless and even Bold has remembered that they're sister shows.
Yes,
thank you. We have the history of characters going back and forth. Sally coming over to Young and the Restless is just, as a longtime fan, thank you. because for so long I was waiting for another character to cross over. We haven't had crossovers in a very long time. We've had mentions of characters, but nobody's really crossed over. So Sally coming to, I mean, really, there's so many possibilities. There's so many possibilities.
You know, and this is just yet another glimmer of hope that the writers and the executives of daytime television are listening to the fans. Because when she left B&B, there was a huge uproar about this. Yeah. I mean, what she did with Sally Spectra was so special and so powerful. So thank you, Daytime, for listening to the fans. Thank you for continuing the legacy of Sally Spectra in Genoa City. Oh my God, she's going to shake things up, and I cannot wait. I may actually start watching Y&R on a regular basis because of it.
You heard it here, folks. That is that right there, that alone. Because I already can see her shaking it up with Theo, Kyle. I hope they remember her connection to Lauren, because the OG Sally and Lauren were friends. So I'm hoping that they remember that history. I can see her and Summer Newman being friends. There's so many possibilities. Okay, I'm ready. Do we know her air date?
We don't know the air date, but I will say Anthony in the chat room says, I hope she has scenes with Phyllis, aka Michelle Stafford. Can you even imagine? Oh my God.
Give me a minute. Oh, that's going to be explosive.
Oh my God.
I also want to know too, because I did see that she has a connection to somebody else on the show. So I'm thinking, okay, besides Lauren, who else could she have a connection to?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe Chance in Vegas, or remember she was in New York for a period of time. So could she know Kyle and Theo? You know what? Good job, Young and Restless. Good job.
The wheels are spinning now. Yeah, the wheels are spinning.
Oh my gosh!
I know. So exciting. But you know what is not exciting is that Carla Mosley is officially done with The Bold and Beautiful.
Okay.
Because I know if you haven't tuned in to the Bold and Beautiful mini spotlight that was just aired at noon, live show, catch it, you guys, recap for this week's Bold and Beautiful. We were talking about Maya, and we were talking about, Black representation, African-American representation in daytime television, particularly on the Bold and Beautiful, and the lack thereof, and just the fact that the characters are so weakly written 9 times out of 10. Hoping that Maya was going to be brought back. Hoping. And doesn't look like that's going to happen.
We haven't talked since, I believe, May. I think it was like May 18th of last year. So she came on social media, onto her Instagram page for Flashback Friday, and she pretty much said, people have been messaging her. There was, a rumor that her and Rain Edwards was coming back as Maya Nicole. She was still in the opening credits. But then, as we all know, last week they debuted a new set of opening credits, and we noticed that she wasn't in it. So people messaged her, and she felt as though she needed to address it. And she said, and I'm quoting, "A bittersweet Flashback Friday, as we say so long for now." So there's some kind of hope for now to this iconic character. A openly trans model, mother, formerly incarcerated, unhoused power player. Yeah, she did come on the show. She spent jail time. Good times. She also stated how we saw the first wedding and series regular spot for a trans character on a U.S. television show on a soap. Which was the first time for that. It was also a first time for a soap storyline to become a web series spinoff, which was Room 8, which you can still see on YouTube. But Florence St. Victor, star, produced, wrote, check it out. But she really thanks all the viewers for their unconditional love and support over the years. And to share some of your favorite Maya memories.
Yeah.
This to me was not a like you said, representation is key. I don't even know. I mean, this wasn't a good move at all, because to me, Maya was that character that really, just like Jill and Young and the Restless, started out here, ended up being a Forster.
Exactly.
And
she worked hard to get where she was at.
Yeah, she schemed, she plotted, she did things, that everybody else has done. And the Avant family, and that was their first African American family on Bold and Beautiful.
Yeah. And fans have said over and over and over again how much they miss that family.
I do. I mean, no offense. I just feel as though right now with Bold and all the other daytime shows is that when you're writing a soap, you write humans. It's not just African American representation is so key in time now that, we go and, I remember, of course, Gone Light, as well turns, Generations, how strong they're, even early Young and the Restless. I just don't understand why they do this. I don't. But to Carla, I followed her since Gone Light. I followed this woman, she's an amazing actress. The material she had on Bold and Beautiful, by the way, I still believe to this day that she should have won an Emmy. I'm going to still say
it was groundbreaking. I mean, that storyline was absolutely groundbreaking.
Yeah, and not only that, but there's some questions that I need answers to. Why her Rick break up? Why they have a divorce? Can Maya come over to Young and the Restless?
Hello.
Just asking for a friend.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
If not, Carla, you can go over to General Hospital and play a member of the Ward family. Okay, that's enough for Candace's casting call. But yeah, I really miss Maya. She brought something new to the table.
Yeah.
So speaking of,
like you said, just really quick, like you said though, and in the message that she wrote on Instagram, nothing's forever.
That's true. And she said, for now. So who knows? She can be coming back with a teenage Lizzie. Oh boy. That's just that. Like, okay. Well, speaking of the continuing of kind of a feeling type of thing about soaps, we need to address this. If you're a fan of Days of Our Lives, you know that there's a storyline currently being shown of Allie. No, she was raped. I'm going to try to not get overly emotional about this storyline because I really do feel a certain type of way about it. And Tammy, I definitely want to know your take. And James, yours too. So we have here Allie, who was described by the show as a party girl. She, made some bad choices. And here she is, she was pregnant. She got pregnant from, a guy that she had met. And over in Europe at that time, we learned that she was raped. Now she is accusing Trip of being the person to rape her. First and foremost, no, I can't. I really wish Days did not do this. Days has a history of rape storylines, and I know people are saying, well, Candace, you need to stay and watch the show and see how it plays out. Here's what I know so far, is that at the end of the day, there was a woman who was raped. and a baby came out of it. And she was not in her right state of mind. She was drunk. Storylines like this, yes, is always on daytime. We know that. But with days, and I'm going to echo the fans, this is a recurring storyline. And I told Tammy this because you know me, I'm always, making sure that I have the facts straight. Days of Our Lives will be celebrating 55 years next month. Out of that 55 years, more than 23 characters have been raped or have said falsely accused of rape. I don't understand what they had to do of rapes, especially in these, times where even if somebody looks at you the wrong way, especially a guy looks at me the wrong way, they can always say the word, well, he raped me, or he, something, and people, it's one of those touchy subjects that I'm trying to make sure that I'm not offending anybody with my opinion, but I still don't want to offend anybody. So, Tammy, what do you think about this storyline? And
I feel like we just went through a similar storyline on Days with the whole Gabigail scenario, and there was a huge backlash with that. And I don't know why this topic has become a staple in daytime television.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised with the unfolding of this. It's clear that Tripp is denying it, and Allie's memory of what happened is foggy, and I have my own suspicions of what actually happened.
Me too.
Because of the new character on Days. So I'm just, as Tony Moore always says, trying to be a fan with open arms. But I don't believe that this subject needs to continue to be a staple on daytime television. You have your storylines that you fall back on, stolen babies, or babies are mixed at birth,
Right.
or amnesia storylines, or people getting married for business arrangement type of thing. I don't like the fact that this subject line, I don't like to say the word because it's just, I just don't like the fact that this subject line, continues to be, let's use this story for dramatic purposes. I will say though, because people in the chat have said this, that the actress playing Allie, what's her name? Lindsay Arnold, friggin' knocking it out of the ballpark. Holy moly guacamole. She's absolutely amazing. So kudos to her, because it's been amazing work. She's been doing some really, really great stuff.
And I definitely agree. I just feel as though, the character of Allie, and it's funny, I said this to somebody, they're going to do something to make you support the character of Allie. I just didn't think it was going to be this. Her and Tripp could have had a one-night stand. What happened to the one-night stands in daytime, where you just meet, somebody, you both was out partying, right? And I did, and you bring up something. You just said, I know that these type of things happen in real life. I know that. But when you, like you said, we just came off of a rape storyline with, Abby, then there was Sierra in the mix. We also got to remember, men also raped too. That would have been Eric.
Yep.
Questionable about Brady because, the situation. Nick, this has been going on since they first started the show.
And let's be fair,
is calculated every 5 years.
isn't the only. All the soap operas do this.
No, all the soaps. Yeah, because I did a whole list of it. So you have, like I said, 23 more on Days of Our Lives, 55 years, okay? With General Hospital in their 57 years of being on the air, it's been 21, actually 23 characters. We know the most popular one, because that came from a super couple, was Laura, then Elizabeth. With Bold and the Beautiful, out of the 33 years, it's actually been between 4 and 5. With Young and the Restless, they're going on their 47 years. It's actually 6 characters, including Billy and Kane. So this is,
And I will say,
it's okay to subject. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, I will say that daytime has always been a place to address social issues. But I will agree with Annie Goen in the chat room. She said the writers on Days need to understand that rape is a crime, not something to be used for entertainment. Rape is not entertaining to watch a character go through. And I don't think that the writers view it as entertainment, but they do use it as a dramatic ploy. And if they're going to do that, it needs to be very sparingly. It needs to be very sparingly.
Yeah. When for those who saw Days this week, Trip had said, I feel along the lines where, are you sure? Everybody's in the alley. Are you sure with him? Sure with me? It couldn't be me. It's enough that we have victims out here who are watching these shows, who have gone through that and feel as though if they come forward, people are going to jump on them and say, are you sure? Are you sure you're not lying about it? Are you sure you're not trying to get an attention? That's the world we live in. And I feel as though you're right. This isn't for it's not like one of those like, look what we're going to do, da-da-da type stories. But I just feel as though this is a tired plot. Because yes, we know that this is going to open doors for Steve and Kayla. Know that John and Marlena are going to be part of it. Like you said, Tammy, you're putting 2 and 2 together that it might not be him, but it might be somebody else. And then, the question came up, okay, if this took place out of the country, then in Salem, he couldn't be prosecuted. He couldn't get charged for anything.
Yeah. So, we could go on and on about this. I just think that at the end of the day, this is one of those subjects where daytime needs to take a step back and reevaluate what constitutes daytime television.
Right. I mean, like I said, this is one of those stories that, yes, it has been done on the daytime soaps, but now it's kind of shifted because of the Me Too movement, because of everything is you have to make sure you're telling the story, because if you're going to do something, there's somebody out there who's watching. Just remember that. There's always people watching who's connecting to this character, who is following what this character and this show does. And if you miss a beat, miss a step, there's going to be a backlash, and it may not be good.
Yeah.
May not be good. So, but stay tuned and watch.
I know. So let's go on to something that hopefully is going to be good news. Am I breaking up really bad?
I think it's both of us. I think it's both of us.
At the same time, all of a sudden.
Yeah. Did I try a different ear?
No. You're fine.
You know what it is? It's Zoom. Zoom is being not nice.
Because we were fine, James, for Bold and Beautiful. So I don't know what the haystack.
You're fine now. Yeah, you're fine now.
It's Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go on to some. I'm hoping this is going to be good news. everybody has been missing Jeannie Francis on General Hospital, and so she posted a picture on Instagram. Actually, she tweeted it. She's not on Instagram.
She's not on Instagram.
She tweeted with her and a suitcase, and she said, "Bye bye, New England. So happy to have had a bit of fall. Hashtag GH."
Oh yeah, come on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's come back. Let's go. Let's do this. Please.
God, Laura, where have you been, girl?
Well, she did the whole quarantine thing. And, I think everybody needs to understand that everybody wasn't rushing back to work as much as we fans want the act to come back. We have to remember they're humans. If they get sick, there's no character on the show. So she was taking her safety precautions, and now she's ready. She's ready to come back to GH.
Please, fingers crossed. Jeannie, we can't wait. We love you so much. Hurry back. Stay safe and hurry back.
Exactly. Yeah, because I'm noticing some things with GH, and she needs to be a part of it. I'm loving it. And real quick, I'm going to say this. It's Luke Perry. It would have been Luke Perry's 54th birthday today.
Yeah. Amaya in the chat room just mentioned that.
Yeah. He started out on soaps, and then he did the show called 90210.
Yeah.
Then he did.
Was it Loving?
It was Loving.
Yeah.
In the day, and 90210, Breakthrough Role, then Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie that we don't really talk about. We have to. And of course, he did other shows, and he did Riverdale, and talk about a person really soap roots as well. So Luke Perry, we miss you, man. We miss you. All right. So Tammy, we need to talk about finances. Okay. So Kelly Clarkson, Kelly Clarkson is being sued by her management company. Now, here's the irony of it. The person who owns Starstruck Management Group is her former, it's still wet. The divorce hasn't gone through, but it's by her father-in-law. Yeah. So they claim that she owes $1.4 million. Let me say that again. $1.4 million in unpaid commissions. That's for her work on The Voice and also for her new talk show, The Kelly Clarkson Show. Now, the suit allegedly says there's a breach of contract, seeks verification, relief, and accounting. Various outlets try to talk to Kelly Clarkson. She's not speaking at all. Like I said, the company is owned by the father-in-law, who also represented Reba McEntire. Kind of went through the same thing too. Now, Noval, I want to say that right, Blackstock, I think I'm saying his name right, has represented Clarkson for the last 13 years. So think about all the CDs, all the music in the last 13 years. They made her a star, quote unquote, and was paid 15% commission on her gross earnings. The suit alleges that the singer has paid the firm $1.9 million this year, but owes still another $1.4. So at the end of this year, this crazy year, $5.4 million could be owed. Kelly would have to pay that, or else jail time. Oh, and I should say this too, is that her ex-husband is also still on the production crew over on the Kelly Clarkson Show.
When you start mixing business with relationships, it's going to hit the fan at some point.
You know what song just popped in my head? My Life Will Suck Without You.
I know. Oh my God.
So it is interesting, I agree. This is one of those sticky situations where I saw this and I was just like, ooh.
Yeah.
I was like, her talk show. Let's think about that. She's just started. This is season 2 of her popular TV show. She's doing good in ratings. She's very popular. They're considering her the new queen of daytime. We'll talk about that in a minute. But now that could be jeopardized if she doesn't pay up, because they can technically they already got a lawsuit, and over the 70 pages, yes, I looked at not all of it, the 70 pages, it's the whole description of CDs, awards. Oh yeah, they're coming for awards. I'm just,
You know what? And it almost sounds like she doesn't have optics on her financial situation. You know, she's got other people
yes.
managing that for her while she does the creative stuff, which is all fine and dandy. But how many times have we heard artists say this same story about being losing millions and millions and millions of dollars because they don't have a bird's eye view of what's happening financially with their money? And
Right.
so maybe this is going to be a lesson learned for Kelly to have, again, a better optic view of exactly what's going on, and maybe rewrite some contracts in regards to who's managing her money.
Okay. My thing is, if you've seen your mother-in-law go through this, you should have kind of took care of that when all this was happening. When you found out Reba McEntire, who is her former mother-in-law, was going through the exact same thing you're going through, I would have already was like, okay, wait a minute.
Red flag.
Hi, Johnny Wright, job. Yeah, like, can you pick me up? Okay, bye. Like, nip it in the bud. You should have took care of it, because now she's going through a divorce. And she could also be, if everything works in their favor, her talk show may go bye-bye.
It'll be interesting though, because I think people will view her as a victim in this, which is always good for ratings. Someone who's being taken advantage of. So I don't know if this is going to affect her audience viewership per se, but we'll see. I just feel bad that she has to go through this.
I feel bad that she's going through it publicly. Like, she's going through it in the public eye. And there was something else that was in the contract, in the lawsuit, I'm sorry, where they claimed that they made her a big star. Let me just say this. You've helped her become a star. But the girl was a star when she auditioned on American Idol the first year. Seriously. And I voted for her. So she is a star in her own right, and I just don't like the fact that this was, because now I'm starting to think, was this a plot? Is this a plot between father and son? Because again, this happened with Reba.
Oh, the drama.
You know what? Screw Young and the Rostas. No offense, don't screw Young and the Rostas. But this sounds like a juicy storyline that would play out on the soap opera. I'm just saying, maybe for having a day. Okay.
Well, another really juicy storyline that's rolling out right now, and I'm actually a little bit surprised, because you and I talked about, so this is going back to Ellen DeGeneres, and when all this stuff was hitting the fan, and you and I were wondering if this is really going to affect her show at all, because at the end of the day, Ellen fans are super loyal. And I honestly didn't think that it was going to affect the show very much. But apparently that's not the case.
I'm doing a question. Yeah. So you just said loyal fans. Well, I don't know how loyal they are, because the show ratings for premiere week dropped, get ready, 38% according to the Nielsen ratings. To give you a clue of how this whole thing, the show is averaged around about 1.7 million viewers this season. Okay, that's nearly 38 less than last year. This is before we knew all the action, all the drama. So you know how I said that when something like this, it can bring up ratings, like Kelly Clarkson situation. The flip side is, look what it did to Ellen. And not only that, but allegedly, this is between me and you here and everybody, is some of the guests that she was supposed to have for the season are dropping out because they do not want to be connected to Ellen DeGeneres.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised,
and then I'm not surprised because this is something that we talked about a couple of weeks ago where, Ellen was considered the queen of daytime. She was, the one everybody liked. And at the same time, as her seasons continued, the more popular, there's always people that will bring you down and kind of strip you of your good image. And I feel as though, she came back and she said, well, this summer everybody was talking about me. And she was trying to put that spin of she's still a good person. But after a while, you can't assume that everybody's going to be some of it. And, maybe Steve Harvey was right. Maybe she should have threw in the towel instead of trying to hold out for the 3 years. Because I don't see, like I said, 38%. That's huge. That's a huge drop.
Yeah. And sponsors, they're going to take a look at those numbers.
Yes. And,
the problem is when you do wrong, it comes out at some points. It's a shady Sunday, yes. Yeah. But when you are known, it was an open secret in Hollywood that she was not a nice person to her staff. Now, people who come on her show, it's a whole different story. Sometimes you treat your talent, then you treat your staff. That is completely normal. That happens all the time. When they're your staff, you're paying them. You're not paying talent to be on your show. So I feel when I saw her speech when she came back, her monologue, it was the most awkward thing I've seen in my entire life. And she's right about one thing. Well, she's white. She's right about one thing. No one's perfect. But she had a brand of being the queen of nice, so to speak, and be kind lady. And she said, so when you have that brand, this, she's not dumb, then you need to change your personal life then to match it. If you don't change your personal life to match it and just go, well, sometimes I'm a nice person sometimes. Well, that's different than mistreating your staff. That's allegedly, a whole different story. So I feel like the truth always comes out in the wash. And so I think she's washed up. In my opinion, I think she needs to get off the air. She's not poor. She has nothing to worry about. She's good to go. Do some other project. Go away for a while. Come back. Real well. I think that's a smarter thing to do. She's not going to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
Absolutely.
It's going to be interesting in the next couple of weeks because we're heading into November sweeps for daytime. And again, she's facing, and it's interesting because I just thought about this, with Kelly, she's going through a divorce now, going through finances situations. Ellen is going through, reclaiming her good girl image. She's losing ratings. The View is going up. And we know how messy The View can get. So I do feel as though it's interesting because it is sad to see Ellen star fall, allegedly. But like you guys said, when the truth comes out, it's hard for people to now view you as the person that they saw you as in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's going to be real interesting to see where.
Again, to James's point, this has been an open secret for a long, long time. And there are plenty of people saying, finally,
the truth is
out. And so we shall see how this rolls out. Does she have that game show?
Yeah, she still has the game show.
But that's not even game show.
I don't even think it. Yeah, I think that's still coming on NBC. This tells you how much I was paying attention. But I don't even think that's doing so well.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens next. But what we can say is happening next is love Love.
Yeah.
Uh, the one thing that's keeping all of us sane, besides junk food as well, we want to say happy anniversary to so to her husband. Posted on Instagram, my love, my rock, my heart. Happy anniversary.
Yeah. Kristen Alfonso and her hubby.
Oh,
They've been
man.
together for forever and a day. And
There you go.
when I think about the fact that they've been married for so long, he's seen her on her journey for a really, really
Yeah.
long time. Yeah, right? And so
Yeah.
her leaving the show, and I'm getting like goosebumps. When you're with somebody for that
Yeah.
long, you see their story, you see their arc creatively. And it's such a huge blessing to have someone in your life that's there with you through thick and thin. And so
Yes.
happy
Through the ups
anniversary.
and downs well, don't get nuts because October 14th. Now this is where James is going to get teary-eyed.
October 15th.
Just to make sure you guys know that October 15th. Oh, they changed it.
That's what I was told. October
Okay,
15th.
Okay, well, between the 14th and 15th, so those 2 days, make sure you check it out. Kristen Alfonso's last hurrah on Days of Our Lives is Hope.
Yes.
End of an era. End of an era.
So I will be on, they're going to make the announcement probably today. I will be on Audition Days next Sunday doing a tribute.
Aww.
I have to.
Awesome.
So
I love that.
They asked me, so I have to, obviously. I will be
I
in
love that.
I'll be wearing all black. I have a veil. I'll be wearing all black, so tune in.
Well, it's not something pretty. I mean, you should celebrate all things hope. Don't mourn. We don't mourn. We celebrate. We celebrate the days of Hope's lives. I had to think about how, but no, I feel as though, I mean,
as my therapist friend always says, you can't tell someone how to mourn or grieve. I will mourn and grieve the way that I'm going to mourn and grieve. Mayumi McKinley, we love her. So I'll be mourning and grieving the loss of Hope Williams Brady. Well, all other names are.
Right. I'm going to be mourning too, but I'm going to be acting as Princess Gina as well.
There you go. God Almighty help us. There's another thing to celebrate, and that was the welcoming debut of Delon Metz to The Bold and the Beautiful as Zende. So he posted, I'm actually going to pull this up on Instagram. I'm going to go out of the chat room and go into Instagram. Because what he posted was just so beautiful. Hold on a moment. So let's see here. I'm going to show, can you guys see this picture of him?
Oh, yeah.
He's so handsome. Okay.
So cute.
So here's what he wrote. Growing up in New York City, you'd be hard pressed to find a household that didn't have a soap on at least one of its screens during the daytime. For us, it was always the kitchen. I think often what my 5-year-old sandwich stuffing self would say if I could go back in time and tell him that one day he'd be on the other side of that screen. I'm extremely humbled to announce my entry into one of television's longest running dynasties, The Bold and the Beautiful. Massive thanks to Bradley Bell for making me a Forrester, to my new cast and crewmates for showing me the ropes, and to the fans for giving me such a warm welcome. Get ready, guys.
Aww.
Zende is back.
And that's right. Aww,
I love it.
That was really nice. I love how he said 5-year-old sandwich stuffing. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I felt that. Like,
yeah.
Can't wait to see what he brings to the table on Bold and Beautiful. And And also, Ron Flynn, he posted too, and I forgot to pull it up, where he actually, passed the torch to him, and say, good luck, enjoy the ride. So I thought that was nice.
Absolutely. Do you know if he has any?
Absolutely.
Do you know if he has any? Is this his first? Sounds like it's his first soap opera.
I think it is. Yes, I think it is. So we shall see what Zende does next on the Bold and Beautiful.
So, that's so hard. Your first soap opera is always so stressful. It's so hard.
Tell me about it. Oh my gosh, tell me about it. Yeah.
All right. So before we wrap up, I want to make sure you catch us here every Sunday. So you guys, it looks like Sunday at 1:30 live is going to is the secret sauce for daytime today. Here on JLJ Media. So please be sure and return to us every Sunday. There's a lot going on in daytime television. There's a lot going on in JLJ Media. Candace, why don't you start out by sharing what's going on with Forever in a Day?
Okay, you guys. Well, you can catch season 1, all of the 14 episodes of the dramatic, comedy, romantic. Okay, I pretty much summed it up. Over on JLJ Media and all streaming services. So that is season 1. There was some news. Lauren B. and Frank Douglas has joined the cast. There's a first episode this 18th season 2 comes in February, and you do not want to miss a single moment. It's so good.
Love that. That's great. Another show to keep your eye on if you are a Bold and the Beautiful fan here on JLJ Media is the Bold and Beautiful Mini Spotlight. So that's Sundays at noontime. That's with James Lott Jr., creator of JLJ Media, myself, and Miss Amanda Russ of the Bold and Beautiful podcast. That's at 12 o'clock noon. So that is live. It's out. If you are a Bold and Beautiful fan, we recap the week that was on the Bold and Beautiful. There is also the GH Mini Spotlight. James, that's at 6 o'clock Sundays? 6 o'clock Sundays?
So, yes, so GH Mini Spotlight is live. And you and okay. Many of you saw the video I put out. That's called the report on the GH reports. And it did very well. I explained to you guys why there is no GH reports and why there is no AfterBuzz. So all of a sudden, over 24-hour period, we got over 1,000 views on our last 4 episodes of the show. Yes, now you're finding our show. So 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the last show of the soap block here on JLJ Media. It's James Lott Jr., Lucretia Lyon, Frank Moran, and Carla Renata. We talk about General Hospital, and it's been a doozy the last 2 or 3 weeks with all the Mack scaling the show and the death of all that stuff. So that's going on, but I want to thank you personally, everybody who has found the show. Apparently, it's finding it. It's doing amazing numbers that I can't even imagine. So I guess you were waiting for it and wanted it, and we're giving it to you. And also, side note, GH Dirty Deeds here on General. It comes out on Fridays. Another one, you guys are loving that one too. We did Alexis Davis, 25 years of Alexis Davis. Have some new ones coming up. So check that out also here on JLJ Media.
And also coming up is the Y&R Mini Spotlight. James, what time is that on?
Actually, that happened already. That's the first. It already happened this morning, so it's out now. So you go ahead and watch that on JLJ Media. It's on there too.
Perfect. And the Bold and Beautiful Rewind, which is an audio podcast, and I love that. And so is this right? Where you spotlight the nostalgia part of the Bold and Beautiful, like past characters and subjects and storylines?
Yes. So usually a current storyline or current something happens, so then we rewind it. So we did all of Brooke's marriages one time, did all of Ridge's marriages the other time. We talked about this week's episode is about the crossovers that happen between Bold and Beautiful and Y&R. We talk about that. So that's a great episode. So people, that is my number 1 show of all audio shows I've ever done on JLJ Media. Now, I don't know why that one is it. It even beats my sometimes my organizing show has been on for 6 years. For some reason, people love BB Rewind. Thanks for listening to it. I appreciate it. So thank you.
I love that. I love that James has created a space and a platform for all soap operas and all soap opera fans, that they can just go to it and they can find news, they can find recaps, they can find interviews for all of their favorite soap operas. It's great. There's nothing else like it.
Really, and it's a day to find it. Just put in JLJ. Just saying.
You'll need to go down to Mistletoe Road. It's right here on JLJ Media.
Really?
I could do it too.
I know you can. I'm still waiting for another show to come on JLJ Media. We'll talk later about that. But if you're a fan of Valentine's Day, I'm going to need y'all help out there. Okay. Anyway, and if you're a Days of Our Lives fan, be sure to catch the official recap of NBC's Days of Our Lives or on YouTube at Dish and Days for the Dish and Days show. Now, this week, I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about the whole Allie and Trip storyline, as well as the countdown to the beloved, the dramatic Hope. And in case you missed it, about 2 minutes ago, James Lott Jr. broke news that next week he will be the special guest on Dish and Days. So hop over to Dish and Days official YouTube channel, like, subscribe, tell them that Daytime Today sent you, and catch up with all your Salem family.
And that's going to be a wrap for Daytime. That's going to be a wrap for Daytime Today, you guys. Candace, where can people find you on the socials?
Well, they can find me on Insta at CandyMack82, Twitter at CandyPool. Of course, if you're a Forever and a Day fan, you can find us on Insta and Twitter at FAAD Podcast, and on Facebook at Forever and a Day Podcast, and check out our website where you can also listen to the episodes. By the way, it is audio. I should mention that. Sometimes I forget because I think of, you guys already know this, but you guys know. It's FAADseries.com. Tammy, what about you?
Well, before we do more social stuff, I just want to thank everybody in the chat room. I mean, just some of the folks. Amanda, oh girl, you're here. We have Kirsten, we have Rob, we have Annie, and thank you so much, you guys, and Anthony and Amaya for joining us live today. We so appreciate your support, and please share the love. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell everybody about our show. You can find us across social media on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Daytime Today. We made it super easy. You can find me on Twitter at Tammy Gouveia, Instagram Tammy.Gouveia, and Facebook Tammy Gouveia Official. Follow us, subscribe, like, comment, share the love.
One thing we forgot though.
What is that?
Before. And if you want to find all of the great shows, audio and video, head to LJ Media 1. Take it away. So there you go.
There you go. So again, thank you for watching Daytime Today, everyone. We will see you next week on Sunday, right here on JLJ Media. Until then, just a reminder, let's be kind today. Let's be grateful today. And always, let's daytime today. Thanks, guys.
Bye.